Welcome to all the students. So in this video we are going to discuss the chapter and exercise of class 10th biology, chapter number 6, that is life processes. The first question in this is, the kidneys in human beings are a part of the system for, options are nutrition, respiration, excretion and transportation, and the correct answer to this question will be C, that is excretion. Question number 2. The xylem in plants are responsible for, options are transport of water, transport of food, transport of amino acids and transport of oxygen. As we know that the xylem in plants, they help the plant in the transportation of water and minerals. So the correct answer will be A, transport of water. Coming to question number 3. The autotrophic mode of nutrition requires, carbon dioxide in water, chlorophyll, sunlight. As we know that the autotrophic mode of nutrition shown by green plants, they require all these parts. So the answer to this question will be D, that is all of the above. Question number 4. The breakdown of pyruvate to give carbon dioxide, water and energy takes place in cytoplasm, mitochondria, chloroplast or nucleus. The answer will be mitochondria. Now let us begin with question number 5. How are fats digested in our bodies? Where does this process takes place? So although as we know that the fats digestion, it starts in the stomach. But it is very poor in stomach. Why? Because the gastric lipase enzyme that is present there, it is a very weak enzyme. So final digestion takes place in small intestine. Once it enters the small intestine, these fats, these are emulsified by the action of bile juice that is secreted from the liver. Emulsification, as we know, that it is the breaking down of large fat globules into the smaller ones so that the enzymes can work on it. So here in the small intestine they will be emulsified. After that they will be acted upon by the pancreatic and the intestinal lipase, and finally they will be converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Question number 6. What is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? Saliva, from where it is secreted? It is secreted in a buccal cavity from the salivary glands, and it contains an enzyme known as salivary amylase or ptyalin. So what is the role of saliva? What is the function of saliva? First, it moistens and softens the food. Second point, it is converting that food, the food that we are ingesting here, it is converting that food into semi-solid food or bolus. And here it will be easy for us to swallow it. Third point, the enzyme that is present in the saliva, it starts digestion of starch into maltose. That is why we say that the digestion of food starts in our buccal cavity. Now let us begin with question number 7. What are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition and what are its byproducts? As we know that the autotrophic nutrition is a nutrition in which the organisms are able to synthesize their own food. So here the raw materials required are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. And the byproduct will be oxygen. So it is the only method by which the oxygen is released in the atmosphere, and it is a very essential gas for us. For the process of respiration, it is a very essential gas that is released during the process of photosynthesis by the green plants. Now question number 8 is, what are the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? And here we have to name some organisms which show anaerobic respiration. Now whenever we are writing the difference, we always have to write in this kind of form, like in the tabular form. Okay, so the first point, as we know, that aerobic respiration, it takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas the anaerobic respiration, it takes place in the absence of oxygen, that is, oxygen is not required here. Okay, in aerobic respiration there is a complete oxidation of food, whereas in anaerobic there will be incomplete oxidation of food. Okay, so as there is complete oxidation of food, so from one glucose molecule 38 ATPs, that is adenosine triphosphate, this much energy will get released. But in anaerobic respiration, as only as here the incomplete oxidation is taking place, so here only 2 ATP of energy will be released. Okay, coming to fourth point, the end products here in aerobic respiration will be carbon dioxide, water, along with the production of energy. But in anaerobic respiration, if we consider say yeast, okay, so there the products will be ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. And in the muscle cells of animals, the end products will be lactic acid and energy. Now coming to second part, the organisms which show anaerobic respiration. So the organisms are bacteria and fungi. Question number 9. How are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? Now where are these alveoli present? Yes, these alveoli are present in our lungs, and this is the site for the exchange of gases. Okay, so what are the features of alveoli? Let us study. The first feature will be that it is highly folded. That means by these folds, it will increase the area so that maximum exchange of gases could take place here. Second point, it will be very thin. The walls of these alveoli will be very thin. Okay, the third point is that these alveoli are lined by simple, moist and squamous epithelium. Okay, as this epithelium, that is a squamous epithelium, it is found in areas where exchange of substances takes place. Fine. The next point is that these alveoli, because here exchange of gases is taking place, so these alveoli will be surrounded by richly supplied blood capillaries, okay, so that oxygen may reach to each and every cell. Question number 10. What are the consequences of a deficiency of hemoglobin in our bodies? Here, although I have written this question in very short, okay, so what are the consequences if there is a deficiency of hemoglobin in someone? Okay, as we know that the hemoglobin, it is a respiratory pigment. Okay, and it carries the oxygen to the blood cells. So when there is a deficiency of hemoglobin, so the oxygen carrying capacity of RBCs will be decreased, that is a red blood cells where this hemoglobin is present, so the oxygen carrying capacity of these red blood cells will get decreased. And due to this, because our cells will not get sufficient energy, okay, so here in this case insufficient production of energy will be there, and this condition where there is insufficient production of energy, this condition is known as anemia. Fine. In this condition, what happens, the person feels weak and lethargic because he's not getting that much energy which is required for his processes. Okay, so he'll feel very weak and lethargic, and when he is doing even normal physical work, then he gets tired very soon. So these are the consequences of the deficiency of hemoglobin. Our next question is, describe double circulation in human beings and why is it necessary? So for this, what is double circulation? Now double circulation is like when the blood is flowing twice through the heart. Okay, when the blood is flowing twice through the heart, then this circulation will be known as double circulation. Now this double circulation, it comprises of two parts, that is pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Now what are these pulmonary and systemic circulation? Let us understand. Okay, now let us begin from here. Like here in the right auricle, okay, we have four chambers as you already know. So in the right auricle, the deoxygenated blood is coming from the vena cava, that is the superior and the inferior. From here, this deoxygenated blood, it is going to the right ventricle, okay, and from this right ventricle through the pulmonary artery, this deoxygenated blood is going to the lungs for oxygenation. Fine. Okay, so this is known as what? This is known as pulmonary circulation. Now after that, what will happen? This lung, from these lungs, this oxygenated blood will come to the pulmonary veins, okay, and from these pulmonary veins it will come to our left auricle. That means now here the blood is oxygenated. From here the oxygenated blood will come to the left ventricle, and from here, from through aorta, it will reach to each and every tissue, okay, each and every cell over there except the lungs. Okay, so this is known as what systemic circulation. Okay, and these two combinedly, these comprises of this double circulation. Now what is the significance of this double circulation? Okay, first thing, because here it will prevent the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay, so when there is a when there is no mixing of these kind of blood, so what will happen? We'll get more energy. Okay, we'll get more oxygen. Okay, so it is quick and efficient supply of oxygenated blood to all the body parts, and here in these cases we'll meet higher energy, or we'll get higher energy. So the organisms which require higher energy, okay, in those this double circulation is found. Now question number 12. What are the differences between the transport of materials in xylem and phloem? Now these are the differences. The first difference in when the substances are transported through xylem. So what are the materials that are transported here? Okay, here the materials are water and minerals, but in phloem the organic food will be transported. In case of xylem, there will be unidirectional movement. That means the movement will be only in one direction, that is from the root towards the upper parts or the aerial parts. Whereas in phloem, the movement will be multidirectional. That means the food that is prepared in the leaves will move to other parts, to upper parts also, and to lower parts, and to various other parts. Okay, so here the direction will be multidirectional. Third, the transport in xylem is performed by simple physical forces, whereas in case of phloem, okay, energy is utilized. Fine. Point number 4 is, here the main components in xylem will be xylem vessels and tracheids. But in case of phloem, the main components will be sieve tubes, and these are supported by the companion cells. Question number 13 and the last question. Compare the functioning of alveoli in the lungs and nephrons in the kidneys, okay, with respect to their structure and functioning. Okay, so these are the differences. We are comparing these two. Alveoli, these are the sac-like structures or the balloon-like structures, whereas nephrons, as we have studied, that these are the tube-like structures. Okay, in alveoli, they allow the exchange of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide between the blood and inhaled air. Okay, but in nephrons it is only meant for the separation of the nitrogenous waste from the blood. Third point, here when the exchange of gases takes place, it takes place by the process of diffusion. But in nephrons there are three main processes here, named as, first one is ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption, and the last one is tubular secretion. Okay, so this was all about this NCERT exercise of this chapter, life processes. Thank you.